So I'd love to hear about form. How'd the idea come about?
The creator of Form was this guy named Charlie Wallace, who created what was called Cube. And I actually was just scouring the internet. I'm kind of a perfectionist, and so I was scouring the internet looking for something for like hand placement and on a basketball, and I kind of like where to position it. And I came across Charlie's YouTube and saw this device, saw him shooting it, and thought I might as well try it out. So I ordered one for myself. I think it came across on his sheets that like Gordon Hayward bought one, and so he messaged asking if it was the real Gordon Hayward. It was. I got the product. Then he sent me his number. We talked and chatted and called about it. And then we decided, my partner and I, Emerson Campen, decided that we wanted to kind of push forward with it, and you know, rebrand and relaunch the company. And we designed a few different things about it and changed some stuff a little bit. And here it is now. It was something that I loved using during the last couple of years of my career, and felt like this was a product that could really help a lot of young kids, especially. It's a tool that's geared more towards younger kids that are just kind of, how do you learn how to shoot? How do you shoot a basketball? You would start with a tool like this. And we felt like it was something that could really I have young kids myself, and felt like it was something that could really help them. So that's kind of how it came about.
Nice. Yeah, no, my son's 7 and already showing some potential on the growth chart. So I'm
There you
gonna make
go.
sure he gets into it too. So you were already in your NBA career, you said when you
Yes.
tried it out?
Yeah, I was deep into it. I got one when I was in Charlotte.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so deep. Okay. Um,
Yeah.
and I mean, what when you saw the YouTube and saw this device, like what was it that you thought that kind of clicked, like, oh, this is something that could help me?
Well, for one, I saw Charlie, who's this unassuming, older, like middle-aged, just guy, just draining jump shots from almost half court. And it was like, what is he doing? Shooting it straight every time the ball's rolling back to him. And it's like, what is this guy doing? That's now, at this point in time, I'm obviously still, I was a good shooter, and it's not like I wanted to change my shot at all, but certainly I felt like I used my left thumb a little bit, and I wanted to perfect it even more. So I think that's what initially like sold me on it. And then once I got it, just how simple it was, just the ability to, I think I used it more shooting it just around the house than anything. I didn't really shoot it on a goal. Like, I think I would warm up with it on a goal, especially during my off season workouts. But more than anything, it's like it was something that I could be on the couch and just shoot over and over and over. And it just kind of like locks in your form. And I think a lot of us, it's like you can't be on the basketball court at all times, but like, you're sitting around watching TV and you're just like shooting this thing up and down on the couch. And it really just, if you're thinking about basketball and thinking about your shot and thinking about your game, and it's something that you can do, like I said, not even on a court. And I think that was another thing, was like, I know a lot of people don't have access to courts all the time. And so
Right.
I thought that was another thing, where it's like, this thing is, you can use this anywhere, and everywhere. And so that was also what turned me on to it.
Nice. And so is Charlie still involved at all, or did you buy him out, or how did it work?
Yeah, Charlie is still involved. He bought most of the company, but he's still involved. And he's a phone call away, and I think we're going to hopefully use him. He's obviously knows a lot about it, and probably would be the foremost expert on using it, just because he used it for so many years. He will still definitely be involved.
How do you think about your investment portfolio, or like how do you think about entrepreneurship? Is this something that you've always wanted to be involved with?
I honestly didn't ever think about it. I wanted to be a basketball player, and I was blessed and lucky enough to be able to play in the NBA and have a long career in the NBA. And, I was just thinking each year about how I could get better as a basketball player. And this kind of fell into my lap. And as I got older and older, you do have to start thinking, like, at some point in time, this is going to end. And, the NBA always, we have a lot of meetings about that. And, they're trying to help players, because your career is usually a lot shorter than you think it will be. And so you got to have something that you can do afterwards. And this was something that kind of fell into my lap, but it's something that quickly became passionate about, because it allows me to still be around the game and, help young kids learn how to shoot. And, but it's also it's kind of the other side of it. It's the business side of it, and that's fun. It's a fun thing to do where you're. It's also it's obviously the business is competitive, and it gives you a chance to compete and yeah, I mean, I think it's also just my portfolio in general is I wanted to make sure it had a lot of variety in it. And I don't know if you saw this, but I just also released a movie, so I was the producer of a movie, so that's another thing, and it certainly has helped me as preseason games just get started. I'm starting, like I'm kind of like missing it a little bit, but this has helped me like bridge that gap of, they always say like retired athletes, you start to get bored and all this, but this has helped me kind of just jump right into it.
What was your role in producing the movie? Like, how involved were
We
you?
made the movie in September of 21 over the course of that year. And I was obviously still playing, so I wasn't extremely involved on a day-to-day standpoint. But as the producer, I was sent dailies. I was able to go to Skywalker Sound and do some editing there. And I think moving forward in the future, would love to get more involved with that as well.
Going back to the shooting, like, what other tools did you ever use, like a home court or a Noah basketball? Have you ever used like any other tools that were at your disposal that you found helpful?
I used Noah when it first came out. My shot was actually pretty flat, and we used that for a little bit just to work on the arc of my shot. And the Noah I think is good. You want to be consistent in your shot more than anything, and it helps you just realize your arc is not as high as you think it is. And so I used that. We used the gun when I was in high school. You know what that is?
No, remind
The
me.
gun is just the thing where you've got the nets that kind of go like this right around the goal, and when you shoot it, the balls drop down and then it passes it back to you.
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah.
Um, so we used that, but this was another thing that I thought was really amazing about the forum. There's not really a tool that helps you learn how to shoot. A lot of tools these days are data driven, and they're showing you all the data about your shot, the arc, the rotation of the basketball, the depth, how far you're shooting it. It counts your misses and your makes, and all that stuff is really good. But it's like it doesn't help you learn how to shoot. It doesn't tell you about your form. And there's so many tools in other sports that like golf and baseball, for example, that everyone's all in on learning to do the fundamental part of whatever you're trying to do.
Hmm.
And so that was something that just was amazing about this was like it's a tool to help you learn how to shoot and help to perfect your shot. So
Yeah, that's interesting because the ones I just mentioned are, like you say, like if you're sort of established and just trying to tweak something, that you'd probably use something like that. But like at the very beginning, where do you start? And that's
exactly. That's
yeah,
exactly right. And like I said, none of them they show you basically your data, but they can't help you fix it. You would have to do that on your own. If you don't shoot it the right way, it's going to spin because it's a square, it's a cube, it's not going to spin on that singular axis. And so if you do it correctly, you see it, it's instant feedback. You see it right away. It spins beautifully. And if it's not, it's going to be wobbly. And so you knew, okay, I didn't do that right. I got to fix it. My elbow's got to be in, or I turned my hand like this, or whatever it is.
yeah.
Or my guide hand was involved.
One other thing that I saw that you had been released previously pretty active in esports investing. Are you still involved in the esports world some or?
Yeah, that has always been a passion of mine, and I'm still a behind the scenes investor in a couple things, but that world it's it's a crazy world, and I'm still very passionate about it. But yeah, I haven't done anything more than what I've done in the past.
Yeah, does seem like it's gone a bit up and down and so forth. So
Exactly.
yeah. Oh, and actually, so Emerson, he played with you, right? At
Yeah,
Butler.
Emerson was a freshman with me. We had six freshmen. He was a freshman with me, and then he redshirted that first year, and then played. So he was there as a player for 5 years. I left after my second year, but then he coached. I think total was there for like 12 years or something as a coach. He was an assistant coach with LaVale Jordan and Holtman, and so he was there for a lot longer than I was.
Nice to
Cool.
chat. Thanks for your time.
Yeah. Thanks, man. See ya.
Cheers.